Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining. Got a fun project for you tonight. Robert's frantically running around looking for our rolly table. Some things walk away. That one might have rolled away. So I hope everybody had a great 4th. Give us a thumbs up if you sewed a lot. I didn't get to. I wanted to, but maybe next time. Did you find it?
Hello, everyone.
That's so weird.
Hey, Leslie.
The one
Hey,
person that
Kathy.
would know just left, too.
Hey, Dolly. How are you tonight? Hi, Cheryl. Well, Joan, who are we?
We are Quilters HQ, Windmill Sewing Center, and Sewing Machines Express. You should ask him. He probably knows. Well,
And the people searching for our mobile laptop table. That's who we are.
and the people searching for our mobile laptop table. The websites are quiltershq.com, windmillsewingcenter.com, and sewingmachinesexpress.com. And we do this every Tuesday from 6 to 7 Central Time. Sometimes we're out of town. I think like next week we're out of town. Maybe. I think so. Next week we're out of town. So we may or may not have a show. If we see something really cool at the Bernina Convention, we might go live and show it to you too. We've got a great show, I hope, for you tonight because this is the first time I've done it. And so we were driving back from Springfield, and Robert always drives. And I just get kind of bored, and maybe my phone was dead or whatever. So we started talking about grade school. And I don't know if you remember these things. I don't think I talked to you about it.
Maybe.
When you were in grade school, did they have the projector where they projected, like at Thanksgiving, they projected your profile onto a piece of paper and then one of your teachers drew your profile? It was like maybe 2nd grade, you know, where we all looked the same and nobody knew whose picture was whose because, you know, on a profile, all kids look the same. But then they put the hat or the bonnet on. Do you remember? Did you guys?
It's feeling a little blurry at the moment on that, but I remember getting the milks.
Throw up a turkey emoji
Okay.
if you remember doing that, because it was always at Thanksgiving. And
I mean, we all had to draw turkeys and paint them, and then sometimes we put the little pins that you pop out, like cotter pins, you know, so his leg would move and stuff.
we traced our hands and made a turkey.
Okay, there you go.
Turkey. Similar concepts.
Hey, Kathy. Hey, Miranda. Hey, Mary.
So that got me thinking, okay, well, you know, if I had a profile, what would I do with it today? And I would make it wild and crazy. You know, I'd color it, you know, all kinds of different colors and psychedelic and fun stuff. So that got me thinking about this project. So we're going to find out together if this works. I think it will. I have high hopes.
Tom said they did it on black construction paper.
Yes.
Lots of people remember exactly what you're saying, Joan.
Okay. So I'm talking to the right people.
Yes.
Shall we do announcements? Grand opening, August 12th and 13th. You don't want to miss it. Fun stuff. We might break out the margarita machine. There'll be free stuff. All kinds of stuff.
We can hope we have tons of product.
Find it. Yeah, shipping's kind of
We'll keep trying.
Hit and miss right now. Should we do a sound check?
We should do a sound check.
Okay. Sound check. Can everybody hear me?
Facebook and YouTube. Hi,
Facebook
Patty.
and YouTube. Kimberbell Club is July 9th. That's this weekend at Windmill Sewing Center. Give a dog a bone and give a cat a fish pouches.
Wow.
Okay. I haven't seen it yet. I'm sure it's really super cute. Either way, Santa Mail and Bag of Coal Cinch Sacks will make you smile. You do not want to mispronounce that. I took my time on purpose. Bernina Serger event, August 16th, 2022. Was it confirmed? Are we going to have that special guest?
I don't know.
Don't know.
You never know.
Never know.
Special guests just show up around here.
Special guest.
We do need people. We do need signups for that.
Yep.
Miranda, Amber.
Thinking about a serger. Oh, sergers are so much fun.
Hi, Darlene. How
Everybody
are you?
should have one. One of these days, I'm going to post on our website or on our Facebook page the sample that the Husqvarna Viking educator made. It looks like a plaid. It's not. She did this all with a cover stitch and a serger, and she took ribbons and sewed it on. It's just gorgeous. Little baby girl dress. Oh, let's serge.
Oh, she did say there's announcements on both sides of the page. Judy wanted to remind you. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you, Judy. I was figuring that out because I'm like, wait, no, something's wrong here.
Sign me up for the Margarita open house. Yes, Georgia. You're VIP invited.
Yeah, we can't let Robert make those. We have a running joke because he makes Robberitas, and we had some friends over, and they were having a margarita, and they're like, "Is there anything besides alcohol in this?" And he goes, "Yeah, there's ice." So you got to be careful drinking his. You too, you might be crawling out with a long arm attached.
No, I would just
because
I would tone those down by 12.
We make those really big decisions with a glass of wine for sure. Let's Serge is an 8-week program. It starts August 20th. So if you come to the Serger event and sign up and get a machine, you can take that one right after it. It's $120 for 8 classes. Everybody who has taken it has just raved about that class, and Joyce as the educator.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Beginning quilt piecing, September 9th through the 30th. We're getting way out there. This is almost fall.
It goes by really fast.
It does. $60, basic cutting, basic color and fabric considerations, 1/4 inch seam, press and trim blocks, basic troubleshooting. I might need to take that course.
I know I need that one. Hey, Cindy, how are you?
Followed by beginning quilting, which is October 7th through the 28th from 10:30 to 1. Both of those classes are at Quilters HQ. They're both $60. You can sign up now on the website. This is what Judy was waiting for. She'll probably jump off after this. Sewing Retreat, October 12th through the 14th. And it's been 3 days sewing at our new location with new and exciting friends. Enjoy the roomy and beautiful space while you create beautiful things. See the latest in new and marvelous fabulous fabrics, which we have a batik fabric that should be shipping this week. It was supposed to be here in May. Bring your sewing machines, projects, and supplies. Private retreats can be scheduled. It's $50 for 3 days. Table Runner Club, Monday, July 14th from 10:30 to noon at Quilters HQ. $25 per class. Book and pattern. Book is required. AccuQuilt Club. Oh, Judy, you dropped the ball on this one. Next week.
Hey,
Actually,
Julie, how are you tonight?
Thursday. We moved it because I'm going to be out of town.
Yep.
And so that one is this Thursday. And then this is a ways out. Those are peacemakers.
Hey, Patty.
And
Yeah,
that's
September.
Yeah. Springfield.
Is there a motel close by? Yes, Kathy, we do have some
There's
hotel
several.
places. Yeah, actually, they have pretty good food.
And really good places to eat, too.
We never want to recommend a certain place without going and testing the food for you guys first, so we
Several
did
times. Sometimes you have to test like several
you never
times.
know. A lot of people are commenting on the quilt behind you, Joan.
Oh, that was one of our previous AccuQuilt Club projects.
Finished for display.
for display. I know it so rarely happens with my projects that I get them finished. I don't know how many unfinished projects.
They're UF Jones.
They're UF Jones.
I just made that up.
It's appropriate. So back to our project.
And we do have a giveaway tonight and a new thread color.
Yeah, we should probably talk about the thread color. Guess what? It's Liberty. This is a red, white, and blue variegated. Perfect for the month of July. Close up. Yeah. We have quilted with this so many times, and it turns out absolutely beautiful.
That's a good choice.
It is a good choice.
Yeah.
15% off. They're normally $14.49 or $14.50 a spool. Still waiting for the thread boxes to come in. Don't know when we'll see those.
Let's see. Did we get the sign-ups changed on there?
Sign-ups?
For the Aki quilt. Sorry, Jody. Just checking on that right now.
Jody, no, I haven't sent the email yet. I know it's been a busy day, and it's already a short week. But I know you're coming in the evening. So back to our project, and I think I'm going to use this. So you need some charm squares, a big block. This one is more than, I'm going to use the 18 by 18 ruler once I'm done here and trim this down. So I don't know if we'll get to quilt all of it, but I had this concept of like piecing and quilting at the same time. And I know it's been done. I've seen it, you know, from other people where they've done it. And so I printed out, this is a cut work block. It's 1/4 of it. So I could get a very large kind of block and have wide spaces in here, and you'll see why in a little bit. And I used the 505 spray to make my sandwich, and I think I'm sewing on the right side. I hope so. There is a right and wrong side to batting, and I didn't think about that when I started drawing, and it's not my lucky day, but we're still going to do it anyway. So I'm sewing on the wrong side, but I'm going to be sewing with a gold thread glide, and we're going to sew on the Q20. And this is one of my favorite colors for quilting. This is called Cleopatra. It's kind of this gold color. The quilt behind me is actually quilted in it. It works with just about everything. If you really want to highlight the quilting, which we're going to have some fun with it. And I'm also using, from Clover, the Choco Liner Pen to outline this design. And these things are so easy to use. You just kind of go back and forth. And there's a little wheel inside of this that you can use to draw your line. Give us a thumbs up if you've used these, and if you have, give a review. And so it just makes a little chalk outline, and we don't need it to be perfect because we're just using it for a guide for this. And since it is just chalk, it will just brush off, wash out with no trouble later. And you can see what a good outline I'm getting just by using this. And here, let me just come up here and where it's not going to be, and you just kind of go back and forth. I don't know if you can see it. It's just a little tiny metal pinwheel, and the chuck falls through when you're using them. These are $10.99. They come in white, pink, and blue, and you can buy refills for it.
And how much are they?
$10.99. If you want one, comment "Make It Mine." I think when you see this project, you're going to want one. I have high hopes.
Hey Donna, how are you?
I think we'll do this one next. And so I started drawing it, and so we're just going to finish tracing this out. And like I said, this is a very impressionist kind of. If you wanted perfection for this project, you would use needle turn. But we're doing this modern style. So modern quilting is any kind of new application to an older style of quilting. And applique is of course very, very, very old.
How old?
I don't know. But, you know, you see portraits of kings and queens with clothing that has applique on them. So at least a couple hundred years.
Hey Donna. Hello Cheyenne. How are you?
Hi Donna and Cheyenne.
Hopefully you had a good 4th.
Yeah. We went out and watched the fireworks near, what is it, Olathe Northwest. Okay, and that's going to line up pretty well. So not bad for only cutting out a quarter of the pattern.
Hi Peggy, how are you?
So once I get this traced, and like I said, I'm not being perfect with it. You don't have to be. Just use your inspiration. Make your curves curvy, and your straight lines don't have to be straight. But you could really do this with anything. So like if you had any kind of silhouette, like a Northwood silhouette or trees or a flag, you could do that with this as well.
So someone asked, can you get the pattern?
The pattern
can we get the pattern?
Is one I just downloaded from the internet. I just did a search for applique quilt block pattern.
Hi Sarah, how are you tonight?
And this is one of the ones that Google gave me. You don't want one that's super, super complicated. Think back to when you were in grade school and you were doing all of those silhouettes.
Happy anniversary, Donna.
Oh, happy anniversary.
We're doing well tonight.
Okay.
So someone said that sometimes they've had trouble with the pins, like the marks disappearing. So I don't know if that's a color thing or a background.
They make those disappearing ink ones. This is chalk, so this is gonna stay there pretty well. And we're gonna sew over it, so I'm not really worried about it making a mess. And I'm gonna use this really vivid, since this kind of has a Hawaiian theme, so you can see where I brushed over the chalk and doesn't really disappear. So I'm going to use this Jungle Paradise, and basically the concept, and we're going to go over to the Q20 here in a minute. I'm going to pull out the white ones because I don't really want those. So we're just going to kind of lay these out, and if you want to have like really cool tips on your applique, you could lay it out like that. And so we're going to kind of, we have the impression of where this is, and so there's going to be a lot of, kind of picking up and picking under here so that you can see your design. If you're not that good at it, like so if we put this one here, you can use your Choco Liner pencil and just carry that design through. Just like that. And we're actually going to quilt and piece, and we're going to try and cover this whole thing with all of these really vibrant colors. So we've got pinks and teals and orange, and this is going to, I think, give us that really good Hawaiian feel. So I'm going to take my scissors, all of my
What's the
pieces.
name of the dish?
Name of the dish?
Loco Moco?
Oh yeah, I was telling Robert about. I used to live in Hawaii when I was in the Marine Corps, and they have this dish. It's on rice, and it's a hamburger patty with brown gravy, and sometimes they throw other stuff in there too, but then they have a fried egg on top, and they call it Loco Moco. Pretty, really not good for you.
Oh, it's all high proteins, right?
Like most things that are not really good for you, it tastes delicious.
Are we migrating to the quilt machine?
Let's go. Ooh, I'm going to take my Choco Liner pencil too. And I'll take our giveaway too. I'll hide it though. Are you going to quilt this?
I just moved it over the...
This is a little bit too high for me. I'm going to lower this just a little. Just a little. And so...
That was not malicious. I guess that's where it landed.
Okay. So,
Hey, Amber, how are you?
if you've ever thought about a long arm, this
I think I might have signed you up for the Serger event, so...
is a delight to sew on. I always cheat when I thread my machines and pull it through, but let me wind a bobbin first.
Well, Patsy, that might be words to live by. She said, new diet. If it tastes good, spit it out.
Oh. Yeah.
Let's see. Ruth was asking, are they 2.5 inch blocks?
Yes, these are mini charms.
And then, so is the sandwich white?
It is kind of a white background.
Batting and white fabric?
Yep.
Okay. Are you out of bobbin?
Well, I kind of wanted my bobbin to match.
Yeah, gotcha.
Oh yeah. And when I'm using glide, I have found with this machine, I do kind of have to hang on to it just a little bit because it tends to pop out of the tension disc when I'm winding a bobbin, and that's why I'm doing this. If I was using cotton, it wouldn't even be an issue or a consideration. Almost done. So there's my bobbin. Let's just pull our thread through. I'm sure Bernina technicians are cringing everywhere. And let's see how it goes. I have high hopes. I'm hopeful.
Doesn't take too long.
Bernina does claim the only needle threader on a long arm on the market.
Good one.
It does work pretty well. A little bit harder to do with nylon thread though, or polyester. There we go.
So what do you think we should do about the show next week, Joan?
Well, we are going to be at Bernina University. Let's trade out our bobbin because I don't really want bright orange. I like Cleopatra much better. There. Now when I load a bobbin in a long arm, and I tell everybody when we set up long arms, don't use the little lever.
Make sure it snaps.
Push it in till you hear it snap, because if you don't, it will shoot out like a rocket because I hardly ever remember to close the door. And I have been on my knees in the store, crawling around, looking for that bobbin. So I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to do a needle down, needle up, And to do that on this machine, all you gotta do is kick backwards on the pedal to bring my bobbin thread up. Could you turn the,
you want to dim the lights a little bit?
I can. Settings. Is it the eyeballs? Nope. Nope, not that one. Back to settings. Nope, that's the display.
There you go.
How about that?
That's
Better?
Yeah, you can see the lines now.
Okay. Can I just turn it off? How about now?
Yeah, even better. Can
Even
everybody
better?
see that?
So I am going to put a little kind of yellow one here on right here. Let me get out of this because I can't sew when I'm in maintenance. Go home. And then I am actually going to go to BSR2. And so we are stitch regulated here, and don't worry if you happen to like make a mistake or anything. So I'm going to sew all the way off. So I've made my little curve here, and then I'm going to sew back over and then just tack this down and then just kind of sew out of the way a little bit. And I'm just following this quilting pattern, this quilting line. I'm going to trim these threads. I should have brought a waste basket with me. And then I'm also going to trim this. And we are just going to leave this raw edge applique. And you can see I kind of missed my mark a little bit here. Doesn't matter. And so then we're going to put one, I'm going to sew backwards a little bit. And those red lights that you see, those are the, oh, thank you, Robert. Those are the stitch regulator. So even though this is a sit down or stand up,
hey Teresa,
it comes all the way back here, right to there, and then comes up like this.
yeah, you could do this on a just a straight line machine too, Ruth.
Absolutely, you could do this on a straight line machine. And so I'm going to come over here, I'm going to catch this little bit right here, come up like this, and I'm not glue basting or anything here, and then I'm just going to quilt this down. Anything that stays on the quilt gets quilted down. And it does not have to be perfect, because we don't live in a perfect world. And we're just going to trim this back.
Creativity is so important.
Creativity dispels negativity.
That's a good one.
I found it in a fortune cookie.
Okay. Now we have to give credit to a cookie.
Yep,
Somewhere.
fortune cookie. So I'm just going to add this little piece of blue. I think my point is right here. So I'm just going to kind of follow the impression of that line and join them up. Maybe right there.
Yeah, it says, Ruth was saying what a great way to use some of your scraps.
Absolutely. So the hardest part, I think, in doing this way is going to be, you know, getting the outline. But once you do, I mean, you could do this all day long. Super easy. And just sew along the edge and tack that down.
How many bolts of fabric are you hoping to carry?
Why don't you answer that, Robert?
This is a running topic here. So my goal still is the 10,000.
And so with my next piece, so see how I'm not putting these on straight. I'm angling this, and I can probably get a little bit more of that in there. And I'm just covering up some of this, but it's going to have kind of a really choppy look. And I'm just going to copy this line onto here. And then after I get done with this, we'll go back and trim this piece. Maybe a little bit further. There we go. And anything you make like this is going to be uniquely yours. Because it doesn't matter what colors you use. Same people could be using the same fabrics in a classroom, and yours would still be absolutely yours. I should be using...
Well, you know, it's a goal to shoot for. The fabric reps thought it was awesome goal. Imagine that.
I've never seen Kobe so happy.
Hey, Michigan gal, how are you tonight?
Okay, I'm going to throw another yellow one here and kind of offset it a little bit. And so we're just kind of working our way around this. And see how I just carried that line of my applique block over? And so I'm going to come back, I'm going to sew back up my line. Let's get away. There we go.
So just to recap for you, Stephanie, she did a Choco outline, basically, of a quarter of a piece of a pattern she downloaded from the internet that she thought would be cool to just throw out on a quilt sandwich. Took a charm pack, just sew some different colors on there.
Yep.
And just kind of play around with color. She had a Hawaiian kind of in mind tonight, so.
And you can see this shape coming together, and it's going to have this really cool kind of patchwork look to it. And so I'm going to fit this next one right here. And you're quilting on top of some of the fabrics, but if you've got, I mean, any little bitty scrap of fabric would work. You don't have to use these squares. So I'm just going to draw my little point line here.
Hey Bernadine, how are you?
It's a little more curvy in than that. Curvy in, I just made that word up. And so when I'm traveling across these, I really don't want to quilt on top of this. So, because I kind of want my back to have this kind of funky quilt block pattern on the back, where it's just kind of square-ish. And we can stop here in a second and I'll show you what the back's going to look like. But survey time, what does everybody think of this kind of a project?
Has anyone tried doing a project like this?
It reminds me a little bit of the, what's that method where they're fusing all of the pieces down? They have an outline and they're fusing pieces down and sewing a cat or a sewing machine. Okay. And so we need a different one.
It's a project. I like it.
It's a project, that's right. So again, I'm just going to trace this outline. I think this is called a fleur-de-lis, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea, Ruth. Yeah. Batiks would be kind of a cool look for it as well.
Yep.
Collage quilting.
Collage quilting.
There you go. Reverse applique.
Okay, so here's the bigger question. Who's going to try it?
Kathy said it's a rainy day project and they need some rain up there.
Well, you know,
Send you some rain. We could use some rain actually too.
we could use some rain for sure. It is hot here.
It's really hot. So Sarah, she got in a little bit late. What did you draw the pattern on?
So this is just kind of some white fabric and some scrap batting. So I think this is just a little bit more than a half of yard. And then I cut it and I use the 505 spray to fuse to stabilize my project with the batting. And
So did you take the 505 spray and you sprayed it all over
the batting.
the batting?
And then
Okay.
just press your fabric down and it kind of stabilizes it. So let's...
No heat or heat?
No heat. You don't need heat for the 505 spray. And so we're going to put another piece. Ooh, I like this
And
one.
then she just took a charm pack and she's just sewing on different colors
Yep, these are mini charms.
and then outlining it.
And so I'm going to kind of, not with that, with this. Kind of follow this line, and I may not be able to see this one. Yeah, I can kind of see it.
So then you're just tracing that line back through so you can see it to quilt it.
Right.
You're
And you
welcome.
could use a friction pin as well. But you could absolutely do this on your domestic. Just because I'm doing it on here doesn't mean that you have to have a long arm. I do encourage you to have a long arm. They're a lot of fun. And then you just repeat this process as you go. And then the back kind of has this weird kind of, I don't know, what does that look? Can you see it very well? Not very well yet. Let me do a little bit more and then we can come back and look at the back of it. And even like some of these bigger pieces like this, you could just take them and, you know, come back later and just randomly put it in a spot and quilt over it too.
So if you wanted to add a little more color to a certain section or something, or change what you did, just throw another piece on there that you like and
Absolutely.
just quilt over the top of it.
Absolutely. And so I'm just trying to maximize my pieces here, my little scrappy pieces. I'm going to draw this and that. And this goes this way. And then this goes right there and right there. So what does everybody think so far? I'm kind of digging this.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And then I'm just going to trim out these little parts. I should have grabbed some applique scissors. But I'm playing with fire here.
Flat, folks.
we go. And so then I'm going to sew my way back around, kind of following those lines. You don't have to. You could sew right through the middle if you wanted to. And then I'm going to use, this is perfect. And I don't even think I'm going to trace that one. I'm just going to follow that line. Back up here. Let's put this little piece right here. It's a little tiny scrap. Because we like to take advantage of all of our scraps, right?
Yep, you gotta use it all.
And that was a fairly large piece, so how about... Ooh, there's a frog. Let's make sure the frog gets in there. And I think I can actually get, not quite, pretty close. Not quite. Well, I don't know why that one works and the other one didn't. Let's color that. So it's kind of like you're giving the impression of the block, so you can see why this does not have to be perfect. Okay, so I've kind of got that one covered. I'm going to sew down here and then trim. You could do all this trimming afterwards, but I kind of like to trim as I go.
You can probably see it a little better if you trim as you go, right?
Yeah.
Kind of see the outlines of. Well, you might want to make a change too. Yeah, you want to add another little piece of fabric here or something.
Yep.
How many blocks are you going to make?
I think I'm just going to do one as a wall quilt. But you could use a method for joining these together. Once I get this pieced, all of these little scraps of fabric laid down, and you can see I kind of missed my Choco line here. Doesn't matter. You're just doing the impression. And, you know, once this gets washed and who's going to know? Right? So let's see if we can see the back now.
So Peggy was saying when you trim as you go, then you get really excited because you can see what you're making, right? So,
you can see your progress, and it's kind of cool. So I'm kind of going around in a circle. I think I'm just going to put one big one right here. But it kind of does have that Hawaiian Island flair, doesn't it? With these colors.
Very bright.
Yep, and if you wanted to do your piecing and use like decorative stitches on your machine, you totally could. That would work too. Another piece to trim.
That would look kind of cool too if you went around the edges with another stitch.
Yeah. And so the rule of thumb for batting is you want to quilt at least every hand's distance. So even if I do nothing else except take this over, put it on my serger before I bind it, this is enough quilting for this project. So let's add some teal.
Karen said she's too much of a perfectionist. She might not be able to make it perfect.
Well, that's the whole point. This is impressionist quilting. That's what I'm going to call it. Impressionist quilting. Or if somebody else can think up a better name for it.
Through the eye of the artist.
There you go. And that's what modern quilting is like you take something that has been around a while and you just use a new method to do it. Ready for another piece? I think we can fit that frog right there. Yep, there he goes. He's found his home.
Mary was saying could make it look like a crazy quilt.
It will look kind of crazy when it's done. But it's just something different. So, different from your normal, you know, cut piece or use that quilt, cut piece. Because sometimes that can get kind of boring. You need to come out a little bit more. You know, you get tired of doing the same old thing. Well, this is something different. Oh, there's a headless leopard.
Oh, no.
We'll include him too. We'll put him right here.
Maggie said she just finished a crazy quilt, but it's very organized.
And if, you know, being too organized with your projects, because I talked to another customer today. She's traveling up from Texas, visiting, I think it's her daughter. And she was talking about, oh, that'll be perfect right there. She was talking about how they were doing a project and she couldn't make herself make these crazy lines because it was kind of like this, except it was like long strips of fabric and you had to sew like crazy lines over it. And she was telling me that she really struggled. So I'm going to cut this in half. So I'm just going to follow my line around here and I'm going to cut a lot of this one off and then use it again. And unfortunately, we're not going to get through the whole thing, but we'll get through a lot of it. And then, oh, perfect, perfect, perfect. Look, there's a crazy little piece with a little monkey. Can everybody see the monkey?
Yep.
To go right there. Let's see, make it fit where I won't cut his head off. And I want that to go under. And I am going kind of slow because I like my fingers. And then I'm going to sew around. We got maybe time for 1 or 2 more pieces and then we're going to do our giveaway. And
yeah, Janice, we have a store in Springfield. It's in the Kickapoo Corners, just off of Campbell.
And again, here's a big piece. I'm going to cut a lot of it off. I am going to trace my line here. Maybe if I do it left-handed, it will work a little better. And then back out. Okay. let's trim all this stuff off and see what it looks like. And then I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to leave this here and work on it maybe tomorrow afternoon.
You're welcome. We do have a giveaway tonight.
We do. And I'm going to get to it in just a second. Let me bring my thread up and cut it.
Let's take a look at where you're kind of at so far and see what this looks like.
Yep, I'm going to take it out from underneath the machine. But you can kind of see, you can get the impression, the back is cool.
Yeah, so I think that was a thing. Somebody was saying, you know, what about the back with the different lines on there, and do you really, you know, would you want that?
I kind of like it.
Mm-hmm.
What does everybody think? Let's see if we can get really close where you can see. It looks like, not stained glass, but it kind of gives that impression of like
a little bit, yeah,
pieced. So what does everybody think? You can see it starting to come together. I like the back.
Yeah, very cool.
Very kind of impressionistic.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be perfect. And today's giveaway is brought to us by Brewer. Brewer is one of our suppliers, and this is a spring tape measure. I do not have a retail cost on this. This is a new company with a new product line called Love.
Love it.
Love it. So it has a little button. It's reminds me of the ones that my mom had when I was young. So, perfect.
Carrie, if you're out there, can we get a winner?
Oh, can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, it's just interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So somebody's asking, when finished, can I hang it so both sides are visible? Absolutely. Looks like line art. I can't, there's an art form that is like this. And I just can't think of the name of it. But there is one.
Luis, congratulations on the tape measure.
Luis, if you have not registered for Joan Sews, please go to the website quiltershq.com and register. And if there was anything you saw that you had to have tonight, the 505 spray, the Choco Liner was $10.99. What else did we use?
Empty stained glass.
Empty stained glass.
What batting did you use also?
Scrap. Whatever was available. We quilt with Hobbs 80/20 here. And so this was just a scrap piece of bleached. So this truly is a scrappy project. This is stuff that, you know, I love dogs, but they don't deserve our batting and our fabric. And they're happy with a rug that costs like $3 at Walmart. You can get them a bath mat and they think that you're the greatest person ever. This could be art on your walls. So save those scraps, do stuff with them. And what was I saying? Oh, if you haven't shopped with us before, please go to JoanSews.com, register for Make It Sew. We will
quiltershq.com.
What did I say?
Joan Sews.
Oh, sorry about that.
You're on the Joan Sews channel.
I'm on the Joan Sews channel. That's so confusing. Not really. Go to quiltershq.com, register for JoanSews. That gives us your email address. We will email an invoice, and you can pay with a PayPal or credit card, and we will ship it out as soon as we receive payment.
Yeah, guys, stay tuned for next week's. I'm not exactly sure. We'll be 2 hours. We'll be on West Coast time. So
4 o'clock there. Or are they 3 hours?
Yeah,
Central,
2.
Mountain, Pacific, 2.
Yeah, so it'd be 4 o'clock our time there, and it just kind of depends on where we're at. But stay tuned, because we'll try to put something out on the social channels and email. So,
Yep.
And let you know.
And let you
Depends
know.
on where we are. Who knows what we'll do.
Today, the new color of the month is Liberty, and it's a variegated red, white, and blue. Hope everybody had a really enjoyable 4th of July holiday, and
Be safe out
be
there.
safe out there. If you have any leftover fireworks, you got to shoot them off soon, because I heard the sirens going yesterday. They're looking for you.
Everybody have a great week.
Yep. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next time.